Some other metrics that I kind of put out there, some things that you want to be thinking about to measure. How many companies are you going to do a deep dive research into this week? How many networking meetings are you going to attend? How many networking conversations are you going to have in general networking? How many hiring managers are you talking to? You know, the general networking, we need to be talking to 8 to 10 people at any given moment in time. If you don't have 8 conversations going, you better go find some more people to talk to. If those 8 people are not, or 10 people are not introducing you to hiring managers, drop them like hot potatoes and get to people who will introduce you to those hiring managers, because you need 5 or 6 hiring manager conversations taking place at any given time. And those will lead to that one interview that you'll have happening at any moment in time. If you're in job search, you should be spending 40 hours a week looking for a job. Have goals for the meetings you attend. For example, tonight, if your goal was to learn about this process, fantastic, I'm glad you're here. Please, let's connect. Whether or not you want to learn more, let's connect anyway. I'd love to be a first connection with you. But maybe you've heard this before, like Scott Boudreau has heard it, and he's heard it 5 or 6 times. His goal tonight should be to identify 3 people that he's never talked to before and introduce himself to them and start networking with them so that he can add them to his connection list, add them to his active network, and see if any of them, any of you, can get him introductions to the jobs that he wants. What's your goal for attending tonight's meeting? Keep deadlines. Now, they're going to change. You're not going to be able to meet every deadline you set. That's okay. But if you have the deadline, you're more likely to get to that goal. If you don't have the deadline, you're just going to go on forever. And hold yourself accountable. Now, I actually wrote a book called Work Search Buddies, Finding a Job with a Little Help from a Friend. And it's all about having an accountability buddy for your job search. So I think most people have difficulty holding ourselves accountable. Let's face it, how many New Year's resolutions have you kept in your life versus how many have you made? Right? Very few, I would imagine, because we don't hold ourselves accountable. So if you can't hold yourself accountable, find somebody who can hold you accountable, not your spouse, not your significant other, generally not someone who lives in your household, because that's just going to be a butting of heads, right? So get someone else to be your accountability buddy. Measure your progress every single week. Set those goals and measure against those goals. So here's a typical dashboard as an example that you could use for your job search. But you define what are the things you're going to measure, what's the goal you're going to set for those things, and then every week track how well you did. And if you find you're lacking somewhere, then you know that you've got to work on that, build that goal up so that you can get to the next goal and move forward in that milestone process.